Hello and welcome to another video. So in today's class, you're going to be learning how to do some brooch flowers, okay, with fabrics. Somebody has requested it, and I had promised that I was going to do a video on that for the person, and she was asking of measurements and all that. So I said I'll especially do a video on these brooch flowers for her to see. So there are different types. I've done, these are very old projects I've done in the past. I'm going to bring them back and try and do a presentation of that for the person. I think we had done it on a blue is it a twist lock bag? I'm not too sure. A blue twist lock bag. It had two flowers on there, and the person had asked how we did it. Okay, so to start off, you're going to need some fabric. It's entirely up to you what you use. Okay, in this class I'm going to be using some satin fabrics. It could be cotton, satin. It could also be organza or lace. Any fabric you want, you can use it. You need some beads for the center bits, okay, and then you'd also need whatever you're going to use it for, whether you're going to use it as a brooch or as a hairpiece accessory, you'd need that as well. And then yeah, basically that is it. Your glue gun, your needle and thread, and that is what the basic things you'll be needing for this class. All right, before I carry on, I'll say that thank you very much for sticking by. Thank you very much for all the encouragement, the positive messages you're leaving for us. Thank you very much for your support, your likes, your share. We are so excited that you appreciate the work that we do, and you keep encouraging us through your messages. We are truly excited about that. Thank you very much. So let's get on with it. To do this flower, you need 6 pieces of fabrics cut equally. Okay, so we're going to be using squares. It has to be equal squares. So if you decide to do a 4x4 measurement, you have to make sure that all your pieces are equal measurements. All right, so we need 6 pieces of fabric to make this fabric brooch, fabric hair accessory. So you cut them into squares, then you further cut them into circles. So to cut them into circles, you're going to put them into first one fold and then the second fold. All right, you're going to be making a cut this way, so you're going to kind of make a curve cut. All right, so you're going to make a curve cut. I'm going to draw this in with my pen, but ideally you should be using a tailor's chalk to draw it in. If you use your pen, the mark becomes permanent, and then if you make a mistake, it's stuck in there. But I have been doing this for quite some time, so I can even eyeball it without drawing it in. But for the sake of presentation, I've just drawn it in. So you're just making this cut. Okay, so you are turning them from squares to circles now. All right, and then we'll see in a minute what we just did. Okay, so it's gone from that to that. Okay, don't worry if it's not a very perfect circle, but at least try and turn the shapes into circles if you can. All right, so I'm going to do this, and then I'm now going to use this as my stencil to cut the other bits as well. I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute, but I want to put a pin in here like that. All right, and get this. Okay, line them up and then generate the same shape from here as well. So you're going to do that. Okay, so we're going to do that to all the fabrics. Okay, all the little bits here, we're doing that to all the little bits, and then we come back to it. Okay, so we have all our shapes cut. Now what we are going to do is to stitch them all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to do a running stitch. I have my needle and thread ready to start stitching, and my thread is on a double. I think it's always good to get your thread on a double than on a single. It makes your stitching very secure and they don't unravel. Okay, so this is what you're going to be doing. All right, then you draw your thread. I'm going to do that and connect all my pieces to it. This is quite an old craft technique. Like I said, I'm doing it on popular request. So I'm going to point out something to you. Now you make sure that all your thread, the openings of your fabric is going in the same direction. All right, when you do that, you get a better effect to it. Okay, so we're going to carry on connecting all of them, and then we take it from there. So like I said earlier, your first cut should be squares, and they should be perfect squares. So what I mean is that your length and width of the square of your fabric that you've cut should be the same. So if you decide to make 4 inches wide squares, you're going to have 4 by 4. That is 4 inches in length by 4 inches in width. So you're having a perfect square. All right, then from there you're going to generate that into circles. And then you remember that all your openings should go in one direction, because it gives it a brilliant effect than when you have them going in different directions. At least that is my observation, and it's entirely up to you the way you want to lay it, but I think this has a better effect to it. All right, so I'm going to carry on with the other two, and then I'll bring it back to you. Okay, so now you can see that we've strung on all our 6 pieces. What we're going to do now is to connect this end to this end here. Okay, so I'm going to lift my piece as I've drawn the thread, and then to bring these 2 ends together with a stitch. Okay, so that is how it's going to hold it in place. Make sure that you have pulled it properly. Okay, and then we bring it together like that, and then we put a stitch in place. I'm going to secure it with a couple of stitches. So this is the right side of what we just did. We just try to dress it up now. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, at this point we're just going to finish it off with a brooch on the center, and then I think that this can serve as either a hair clip or a brooch pin, and I want to use a brooch pin, so I'm going to get my brooch for that. So remember, at this point we're just going to be doing glue work here. So this is the right side, this is my wrong side. We need to cover this bit as well. I have a little bit of leather here, and I think I'm going to be cutting it into a circle for that. Okay, just to stick it on. So you can use felt at this point for that little bit there. You don't have to use leather, but this is what I prefer to do at this point. So I'm just going to get my glue gun heated up, and then we take it from there. Okay, so I'm just putting some glue here, and then I'm going to pick my brooch pin and drop it onto it. So this covers up the messy bit here. Okay, I've already done that here, so I'm going to put some more glue here and then put my brooch pin on top of it, and then I'm going to leave everything to dry off beautifully. Okay, oh my gosh, here then. All right, so this is what we have. So this is our first fabric brooch. I'm just dressing it up beautifully, and that is ready to go. So this is our first fabric brooch. This is one presentation. I'm going to do a number of them, about 3, 4, 5 presentations.